1996 saw the first visit of the World Rally Championship to Asia, with round 3, the Rally Indonesia, providing a colourful and noisy introduction for the championship regulars.
Our car is in good condition, everything. We have done a lot of test kilometers, and Michelin made some new tyre for us, and it's, I feel very confident.
With nearly 200 million inhabitants, Indonesia is the 4th most populated country in the world. 9 special stages made up leg 1 of the rally, which took the cars from the start in the city of Medan southwards to the first overnight halt in Parapat. Mäkinen finished 3rd here last year, so knows how difficult the rally can be. Heavy rain in the weeks leading up to the rally made the going tough for all the crews. McRae, who won last year, used all the road to negotiate this right-hander and quite a bit of the ditch on the way out.
I think nowadays the tactic is quite easy. You have to just go as fast as you can from the beginning.
Kankkunen made a welcome return to the series in Indonesia and quickly settled into the slippery stages. Carlos Sainz was on his first visit to this event, although you'd never have guessed. Kenneth Eriksson's another driver who's competed on this event before, on his way to becoming Asia-Pacific champion.
Slippery break, vinkel höger.
One of Eriksson's competitors in that series was Richard Burns, who was destined to become the first retirement of this year's rally.
15.
At the end of the first stage, we had a slippy corner in the notes, and the car just didn't turn into the corner, and it rode up a small bank on the outside and then just nudged the tree, which wouldn't have been too much of a problem, but it damaged the oil cooler.
Sainz was joined in Indonesia by the Welshman Gwyndaf Evans, who's responsible for a lot of the Ford team's test and development work. Piero Liati had a new co-driver, Fabrizio Pons, and the Italian pair was soon in the thick of things. The damage to the front of the Impreza a clue as to what happened.
We met 2 trees just in the middle of the road, and they didn't move, so we banged into them.
Mäkinen was another who'd been colliding with bits of Indonesia. In his case, as the side of his Lancer suggests, it was a little more serious.
Grip was very good, and then suddenly extremely slippy. It was no grip at all, and started sliding and straight to the concrete bridge, and over the concrete bridge it's bent quite hard.
McRae was now locked in battle with Mäkinen for the lead. Considering the conditions, it was a close contest, which McRae was pleased to be leading.
Yeah, it's been good, fairly close, but very difficult with the inconsistency of the conditions, but that's par for the course here.
Behind the leading pair, 3rd place was also hotly contested. Kankkunen, displaying yet more battle scars, and his navigator Nicky Grist demonstrate just how slippery the conditions were.
Keep right of a jump to absolute right of the crest. 120, look at right height.
Richard Burns was about to be joined on the road back to Medan. This time, though, it was Subaru who suffered.
Kenneth's hit a bridge parapet. It seems that Tommy Mäkinen had a bit of good fortune, hit the same bridge parapet and carried on, but Kenneth stopped.
Ford, too, were suffering. Sainz had gearbox problems.
The problem is I've lost the 3rd and the 4th gear, so I have to go from 2nd to 5th, and it's not so easy because stages are quite slow.
Liati must have thought he'd had his problems for the day. He hadn't. The first day had one last trick up its sleeve. Mitsubishi, then Subaru had lost cars. Now it was Ford's turn. Gwyndaf Evans retired his Escort with the simplest of faults.
Line of SS9, we appear to have run out of fuel. Over.
And he got some fuel from a roadside place, 4 litres, which got him going. And of course, when he came here, he told us what he'd done, and that's outside the regulations. So we had no option, but that's it. He's out of the rally.
The end finally of an amazing day, although ahead of the remaining crews lay day 2's 7 stages, which would bring them back to Parapat after a little over 12 hours on the road. The lush green paddy field soon saw the first retirement of leg 2, Tommy Mäkinen.
Radiator was leaking and engine just overheated.
That meant McRae was now out on his own.
excitement's gone out of it. It's very, very difficult to drive for 2 days when you've got a 3-minute gap. It's always nice to fight all the way to the end.
Displaying evidence of yet another close encounter with a bush, Sainz was engaged in the fight for second place with Liati. Conditions were, if anything, getting worse.
Like driving with slicks on the ice in Monte Carlo or something like that.
Juha Kankinen too was struggling.
30. Left. 70. I've never seen anything look bad. The conditions were incredible. I mean, it was like riding on a bar of soap in the bath.
The rally leader at the end of the day was McRae.
When it rains here, you can't believe how slippy it is. It makes it quite interesting.
And so to day 3 and the start of the last and longest leg. 13 hours of competition over 11 stages took the crews back to Medan and the finishing ramp. The morning saw the spectacular and needless retirement of the leader. Intercom failure meant that McRae and Derek Ringer had to resort to hand signals, a system that obviously didn't work.
Well, it's crashed. I can't put it more bluntly than that. We don't know a lot more at the moment. He's come on the radio. It sounds pretty serious. Derek, they're both okay. That's the first thing, of course, but Derek said the car was very bad.
Ahead of McRae, the long walk back to face the music. As the rally drew to a close, some pretty unfamiliar names filled the leaderboard. Gretza Pribadi was 5th, while Yoshio Fujimoto was 4th. Kankinen had inherited the lead after McRae's accident, but that lead was to be short-lived.
Just broke, the intercooler radiator, and okay, of course, then air temperature goes up, and then you have to just drive slowly.
The drive of the final day came from Liati.
Today is fantastic for me because the rally is very, very good. The team is fantastic. The tire is incredible. It's incredible. It's very, very happy.
But it was to be Carlos Sainz who would win the rally. An incredible result at the end of what had been a fairly incredible rally, although the dramas hadn't yet finished.
We have been excluded from the rally from immediate effect. We are not accepting this. We categorically deny it.
As it turned out, the exclusion for an alleged servicing irregularity was overturned, and a relieved Sainz could take his first win of the year.
Cannot put into words my feelings. To be with Carlos in 87 and 88, it was always my life's dream to win this. Just brilliant.
I think it's a great effort for the whole team. We have been working hard from the beginning of the season, and I think it has been working well.
At long last, the taste of champagne for Sainz and co-driver Luis Moya. The winning margin, 23 seconds from Liati, Kankinen and Fujimoto. Local drivers occupied most of the remaining top 10 places. In the Drivers' Championship, Mäkinen still led despite his retirement, although Sainz's victory meant that he was now only 5 points behind. Subaru now led the manufacturers' table, with Ford having closed the gap on Mitsubishi.